when our dad got so bad that it became very obvious that he could not be home and that he could not take care of himself anymore, we began a search. It was a tough search because we had a dad that was a strong-willed World War II veteran. We had a dad that absolutely, ferociously was independent. But we had a dad that needed a lot of emotional support. Our mother had gone. I would say that he was lonely, as well as the situations that he had in terms of his mental acuities and forgetfulness and all of those things you associate with dementia. He was in several places. They all took physical care of him. They all did an adequate job doing that. Some of them, quite frankly, were understaffed. And, every time we heard that as being a reason, I guess I understood that reason, but I didn't necessarily give me any comfort in terms of the care he was getting. It wasn't until we came here to Pinnacle that he finally got home. Before all of that, he was in some corporate buildings with corporate smiles and corporate rules and corporately understaffed. He was in some areas where I wasn't convinced 100% that caring for my dad was more than a job. When I got here, I walked in the door, I felt home. I saw Wes feeding someone about as gently as another human being could feed a person and care for them. I saw a table full of residents, all at various stages of understanding where they were at that particular time, but every single one of them, I'm convinced, felt like they were home, that they were at a family table. And I knew immediately that this was the place where Dad could get the physical care he needed. That this was a place where maybe some drugs that had been poured into him that I didn't necessarily know. I probably should have. But, I depend on my health professionals to give me some guidance on that. But I also found a place where I knew Dad was going to be loved. That's a difficult thing to find. I mean, because, ultimately, we're putting Dad in a business. But we're wanting a business that's like a family. And that's a difficult time because there's many times when money can't buy family. And so the only regret I have about Dad at Pinnacle is why in the world wasn't he here 6 months ago? Why didn't we make that decision earlier? Why didn't we do the investigation that we needed to do, that there was another alternative? I mean, just take the old model and tear it up and put yourself in a house with 6 residents where you can sit at a table and you're not in the dining area, you're at the family table. That's what we found for Dad here. And that's the reason why I'm doing this video. In fact, I asked to do this video. We asked to do this video because we don't want other families to have to go months and months and months and not find a place where their parent or their sibling or their loved one can actually be home.
The thing I found when we walked through the door at Pinnacle was the fact we just felt welcomed. I mean, they couldn't have been any nicer, more upbeat. And what Jeff said, when we came in and I seen the owners feeding some of the people, that's heartfelt. And also, they would come into the room more than I've ever seen any other establishment do and check on the patients. And we knew Dad was safe. So they explain things that they do, like the diet, which makes more sense than almost anything, any drug. And just overjoyed with that concept. And this has to be the wave of the future for the safety and well-being of our older adults.
I was when I was in the state legislature for a while, I just remembered, I don't think Harry even knows this, but one year I received one of the legislators of the year from the Iowa Healthcare Association, which is the organization, the umbrella organization that advocates for all living facilities for the elderly in Iowa. And so not only from the perspective of the son of a patient who I felt was loved, but also from the perspective of a former lawmaker, this is the right place. This is the right place, not just for now, but for the future. And all I can say is that the regret that I have is that we didn't find, my dad didn't find Pinnacle earlier, because I'm convinced that the last month that he spent at Pinnacle gave him more happiness and more calm and more love than what he would have ever received any other place in that all-important final days and final weeks before he passed.